Hi, this is Roger Smith, and this is part two with the Olympian, Richard Bucknor. So, Richard, where we left off, how did the call-up come for your first Olympics?
So, like I said, once you come down for the trials and you know you run, you only have three spots that takes you per event, unless you're running outside of the 100 and the 400. The 100 they can take five for the relays, but it's only three per country that can run, per event. So the 110-meter hurdle is my event. Jamaica had three slots, so I wanted to make sure I had one of them three tickets. So I
Right.
I won the trials, but after the trials was done, same thing. The next Sunday, they list in the newspaper all the people that qualified that would be
So, at
representing.
this time, you were in the Arizona Junior College already, yeah?
Yeah, no, just finished school, so I was in transition. No, I transitioned from Arizona, getting ready to go to Texas A&M.
Okay. So, how many years did you spend in Arizona?
Two,
Okay, go ahead.
so
Sorry.
2 years, junior college, 2 years.
Yep. So, you get like an associate's there, yeah?
Yeah,
Yep.
associates in computer science.
Okay, cool.
So,
Hey, cause
the son,
me need the people them for know say just run. You can't you have one brain too. You know them way there.
I have little brain. I have little
Yeah,
brain.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
always
All right.
loved computers and stuff.
Same.
So, just like common entrance, you see a name in the paper, and so the Sunday everybody name listed but mine, and I'm like, yo, what my name there? Why am I not up on the team? I'm gonna win. So, come to find out, the great Donald Quarry, Jamaican, one of the Jamaican great athletes, he was vying to make his, I think, sixth or seventh Olympics. And if Jamaica took him to the Olympics, he would have made history as the first man to have made so many Olympic teams. But in order for them to take him, they had to leave me. So that wasn't going to happen. I love him to death, and history is all good, but it ain't going to be on my soul. So I did what I did best. I went to the local TV station and radio station and tell the whole country, say, yo, a foolishness this. You need to give a young youth like me a chance. Because if you don't give us a chance and rely on old history, we'll never grow as a country. And somehow it worked. So I guess, it pissed off a whole bunch of people. And so they changed their mind, and I ended up getting on the team.
Do you remember something similar happened with Merlene Ottey, the great Merlene Ottey? And honestly, as a female sprinter, she ran with the best, Evelyn Ashford, all of those girls, and she was like the bronze queen.
Yep.
Some would argue that she ran against a lot of people that were juicing at the time. But
Yep.
we don't have no proof, and I don't want to say that. But that's the argument. But
Right.
but when she was really at her end of the road, Jamaica was still wanting her to represent them in the Olympics at the expense of probably an 18 or a 19-year-old
Exactly.
star. And so I think it's probably maybe it's a Caribbean thing, but then you can argue,
Common.
yeah, you can argue that Harry Kane in the English football team had nowhere been on the pitch, much less. So it may not be just a Jamaican thing. It's we keep the pensioners them on the field or on the track longer than they need to be.
But those things will affect a person, especially I think that whole incident with Merlene and the girl. I don't think the girl has been right ever since. It really
Uh-huh.
affected her mentally,
Right.
because your hope and dreams when you start doing this thing, man. Your hope and dream is to reach to the top, and the top train is to make the Olympics. Yeah, you want to win the gold, and yeah, you want to do all that stuff, but just being a part of that elite group in the world is just one of the biggest dreams for an athlete, for a track runner, to
So
be
which Olympics was
on the
this one in
Olympic.
particular that they wanted Donald to break records for at your
This was
expense?
'88. This was 1988.
Seoul.
So they decided not to do it, and they gave me a chance, and
Okay.
it was good. It was
Okay.
good. I loved it. Man, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Um, as a youngster, though, I didn't realize how how valuable, how much value being an Olympian, you know, is. I didn't value it because I was too young then,
Right.
and so now being an Olympian it's you're it's a calling that you have to uphold and inspire. That's the true meaning of being an Olympian.
Right.
When you're in the midst of folks, you gotta let them know that they too can achieve if they just work hard. And so that's just the spirit that we share as Olympians around the world, man. And that's the truth. That's the true meaning behind being an Olympian. It's just
Right.
being able to inspire others.
So what's the spook? What's the scoop? Because I noticed that, and I noticed you went to London. I noticed you went to Brazil. So what is it? What is it? Do you like going, or by being an Olympian, it allows you access to the Olympics? What's the
So
scoop
so
there?
so being an Olympian, you are automatically enrolled in a fraternity, and every Olympics they have what's called an Olympic house, and this house is solely for Olympians and for friends and family. And the moment you walk in, you have just from the very first Olympics all the way to the current Olympics posters, and you get to sign the year that you ran. And every Olympian from all walks of life comes through there and sign their name and leave an imprint in that country for others to see. And it turns into a museum after we leave. And it's
Right.
just a place to go hang out. And every time you meet, you meet new other Olympians, and it's just a cool, fun place for us and to hang out for every Olympics.
So let me ask you this. So, and I'm jumbling up the times, but work with me. It's my ADHD. So when you left Arizona, that's when you went to Seoul, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. And then after Seoul, and that's 88, that's when you went to Texas A&M down in Waco.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not Waco. What do they call that area?
College Station.
College Station. College
Yeah.
Station. Yeah.
So while I was running all over the globe and doing my thing from Arizona, everywhere in the world I went, this little guy, short guy, we call him Too Sweet. Little short guy with a cowboy hat and a cowboy boot would shout my name, and another Jamaican, Howard Davis, called him Birdman, would shout both of our names. Howard, Richard. Man, we went, I mean, no matter where in the world, Switzerland, Yugoslavia, China, I mean, we all four corners of the world will go run, and this man will be sitting in the stands with a Texas A&M shirt on, cowboy hat and cowboy boots, and call us out and say, "You coming to A&M?"
Right.
So finally, when we went to China, when we're actually over there in Barcelona, no, not Barcelona, in Korea, and he showed up. I said, "You know what? You must have a whole heap of money for following me halfway across the globe. So we spot your school days, we spot me I go. But make sure you're not getting in trouble because I can't afford the same thing for happen that
Right.
happened at what do you call it?
SMU.
SMU to happen with you." And so now, man, we're safe. Just come. So right after the Olympics, we signed with A&M and we went to school there. And lo and behold, on first day one, we got interviewed by the NCAA because they were saying that, yeah, we were illegally recruited, that they paid us all this money to come to school there. And I'm like, dude, these dudes never even gave me a pair of socks, much less. I just saw him everywhere I went, and I wanted to go to the school that he went to. That's it.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
every single month they would call us up and ask us, did they give you money? Did they give you a house? Did they give you a car? Did they give you a boat? I'm like, man, I didn't know they're giving all these things away. Well, how come I ain't got none?
Wow. 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 Okay. So when was the next call up? That was Barcelona.
Yeah, that was Barcelona. That's the end of school. So now
Okay.
I finished up university. I got a degree in journalism, and I had a choice of either going to run pro or walking across the stage like a normal human being and getting your certificate and your family screaming your name and graduation and all that stuff. But I didn't have nobody that could afford to fly to Texas to come to my graduation, so I decided to go run pro. So I skipped
Right.
out on the opportunity to go walk, and I just tell them mail my certificate to my yard, and I'll
So
get
you
it when I
did
get it.
graduate in this terms, but you just didn't walk
Yeah,
this. Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't do the walk, and
Okay.
I kind of regretted that I didn't do the walk. There's a lot of little things that like I said, I don't know, man. We just lived a life of this. I don't know what to call it, man. But we missed out on a lot. We missed out on a lot of
Hey,
normal
but you
stuff.
know the way them guys from College Station like you and you always down there. Maybe them can make you walk as a 57, 56-year-old man across the stage. If your knees
If
can manage it.
if they do, it would make my entire life if I get to walk that stage. Because like
Hey,
I said,
guess
it's
what?
those things as a youngster you didn't take advantage of. But hey, every little bit
You
counts, man.
you send them this YouTube, man. You send them this YouTube, and they'll hear the pitch. They'll hear the pitch.
Hey, you're big time now, so hey, anything is possible.
Yep, yep, yep. I hope so. I hope so. So when what was it like representing Jamaica, living away from Jamaica, competing with Jamaicans that live in Jamaica for trials? Was there a little bit of animosity, or did they just look on everybody as a Jamaican, so it didn't matter whether you went to a college in Jamaica or you were a pro living in Jamaica and you're an F1 student, just coming back to Jamaica for trials to show that you're the best or one of the best three in the country to represent in the Olympics?
Now, Jamaica trials is one of the most unique thing in the world, man. And here's why I say that: because throughout you train 4 years for an event that only lasts so many seconds,
Yep.
and throughout that 4 year period, you compete against so many people. Some people you'll come back to the trials and they'll be in your lane, so you already know what their temperament is. You already know if you
Right.
can beat them or not, that type of stuff. But when it comes to Jamaica trials, man, you see all walks of people show up out of nowhere. You don't know where they're from. You've never seen them before. And one of the things you don't ever do in Jamaica is say, okay, because I have never seen you, you can't be fast. Now, that's the last thing you want to do, because they're the ones that sneak up on you and will take your ticket.
The
And you
sleepers,
wish,
the sleepers.
yeah, man, yeah, man. So
Yep,
there's
yep, yep.
always the sleepers that come out there and they bust. So two things happen, right? Three things actually. One, the sleepers will come out and bust a good time and they'll make the team. But then once they make the team, they just don't have the substance to make it through the rounds. It's just too much because it's a nerve thing. You're talking about billions of people sitting there watching you, and mentally you know they're watching you, and now you got to perform.
Yeah.
It's nerve wracking. So they can't go through the rounds. They can't survive. They don't make it. Then you have that one guy that busts a good time, but man, that's all he trained for. He just trained real hard to come to the trials to make the team, and then he's blown up. He gets hurt
Right.
when he gets there. He can't run. He can't do anything. And then the third one, which is rare, he does good. He end up winning that nobody expected. And
Right,
you've
right,
seen
right.
that a couple of times. People wondering who the hell is this person?
Right,
And so
right.
one of them three things, and there's also a fourth thing. And the fourth thing that trips me out is there's always a youngster, 16 or 15 or a 14-year-old, that's on the
Exceeding
team.
expectations.
Exceeding expectations, man. There's always, and the Americans all, they talk about this little young kid. Dude, we roll 4, 5, 6, 10 of those out every single Olympics. You got
Right, right.
one, we got 15 out there. But they always, those are the four things that I always look for when it comes to Olympic trials, man. It's
Right,
exciting.
right. Cool, cool, cool. So that's interesting. So as far as you're concerned, when you went home for the trials, everybody treated you like you never left.
Yeah, everybody treats you like you never left. Because most of the guys, you're out in the circuit together. The coaches, they're there. I still had, held my same coach from high school, Fitz Coleman. He's
Right.
the same one that found Usain Bolt and trained Usain Bolt. I
Okay.
remember the first time he introduced me to him. I asked him if he was going to high jump because I didn't see a kid this tall running that fast.
Right. Right.
Um, and so it's not a big, it wasn't a big deal for me,
Right.
but it was always, you just always have to think about those guys that you've never seen before. Those are the ones you
Understood.
have to watch for.
Yep. 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 All right. So I'm gonna pivot from here, and I'm gonna go somewhere else. So whenever we hear about Calabar Old Boys and the alumni, everybody's in awe. What makes it so effective? Why are you guys raising so much money for the school? How does it happen? How do other schools emulate that sort of stuff?
So you bring up a good point. For being in a Calabar old boy, I'm very passionate to the school. If it wasn't for the school, if it wasn't for Herb, if it wasn't for Fitz Coleman, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So I'm very passionate about giving back, right? But for the longest while, I couldn't find the right vehicle to give back to because every time this will come up, that will come up. They want money for this, want money for that, and you would give, and it's like that the door will never close, right? Or you'll never see the fruits of the labor. And I'm just like, I'm not wasting my time doing this mess no more.
So
And
can
so for
I
the
can
longest
I
while,
so can I
I
can
shied
I
away from it.
can I hold you up a minute? So you raised a really interesting point, Richard. You know me. I can't leave it like that. I can't leave it like that. So you're saying there's a lot of vehicles to give money, but you couldn't see where it was going? Is that what we're talking about? Or was there
Couldn't
no
see where it was
accountability?
going, didn't know what was happening. It was just a bunch of smoke.
Was that in
So
the
for the
early
longest,
days?
yeah, even the early days, I would get invited to different functions. They would use my name and likeness to bring crowds and do all that stuff. And I'm like, yo, where all the money at? What do y'all do with all the money? And so I was just like, man, I'm done with that. And it wasn't until probably what 2 or 3 years now, I had some alumni. They were on the track team with me, and they call themselves Sons of Herb, which is Sons of Herb McKinley. And
Okay.
they
Nice.
said, "Hey, we want to keep we have a golf tournament down in Arizona. We want you to come see it, and we want you to be involved with this group." I said, "No, I don't want to involve in nothing, boss. I none of that. I've been there, done that." And they said, "No, man, just come check it out." So I said, "All right." So I flew down there, took my golf clubs, went down there, and the guys were professional. They're all working, in banks and doing a lot of good things with their lives. And when I got down there, they showered me with love. I stayed with the guys at their home. Their wives and kids showered me with love, and it was cool. It was a different vibes. Most of the places I go stay in a hotel. I don't stay with nobody, and I just go to the event and I get back on the plane and I go home. But somehow I just wanted to kind of mingle, and so the love that I got just from their family and how passionate these people were about Calabar
Yes.
as his wife and kids. And I'm like, yeah, I've been to Calabar? And they're like, no, not really. And I was like, oh, you have so much passion for someone you ain't ever seen. And then I went to the golf tournament the next day. And it was, I think, I bet 200, 300 people. It was just so packed of people that were just willing to give money towards the school and towards the.
Why? Why and who are these people?
So I was like, yo, it's what I want. So the golf tournament done, and then we sit down and them explaining everything now to everybody, telling them thanks for the donations and everything. And then the guy was just like, "Hey, this is what's going to be. This is what we're going to do with the money. We're going to find a kid that's there in the school, and this is what we've been doing. We're going to work with the guidance counselor for the school, and the guidance counselor knows pretty much everybody that walks through the door. And the guidance counselor is going to give us a kid that says, this kid, if given a chance, can make something of himself. But his family is not rich enough to send him to school for 5 days in a row. Him not the money for buying a uniform, can't buy books, definitely can't eat. So what if we provided these fundamental things for him throughout his entire school year, and that's his entire school life, from first form till him graduate, and give him an opportunity to learn and then turn around and do something with his life? How- what would we lose in helping him? And I was like, damn, okay, I kind of like that. So I said, count me in. I like that function because now I can see where everything is going. Not that I want a penny, I want to watch every dollar that you are spending and see what you're doing. But I see the value add of giving someone a chance because that's what Herb McKinley did for me. He saw me on that soccer field. And if he didn't pull me off that soccer field, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now, Roger. He gave me an opportunity. And all we're doing is giving these kids an opportunity that the guidance counselor, who is now the eyes of Herb McKinley, that's how I see it. So we pick up a kid, we pay for him school, him get him uniform, him get him books, we give him a tablet, and all the way through his high school year, we'll cover him. And all he's got to do is just go to class and just learn. He ain't going to be he don't have to be a track athlete. He don't have to be a basketball player. He ain't got to do nothing but just use this. And then when you reach to the top, turn back and find another kid and help him along the way. And so I've been doing that now for the last 3 years with these kids, Sons of Herb. And man, I have no problem with putting my money in that foundation because it's giving opportunities to kids that really all they want is just a chance.
So,
And that's
so
what Sons
that
of Herb is all about.
so that Sons of Herb is just one organization. But what about the Calabar Alumni? Does that encompass all graduating years from time immemorial? Who's
So,
alive?
so I think that's the problem. So you're right. So you have the alumni chapter for Calabar, and then you have different chapters all over the states, all over England, all over the world. So yeah, so each chapter is supposed to do their own thing and funnel stuff back through to either the school or to the main chapter there in Jamaica. Sons of Herb, we just deal directly with the guidance counselor and the student. We bypass all them other stuff, man. Too much politics. I don't. I've been in so many meetings where them say, okay, we're going to do this for the school. Let's bring up some internet service for the school. Let's do this. Let's do that. 3-4 months later, I don't hear nothing. So I waste my time with that. With this program right here, I know that once we put some money together, I know that I just buy a uniform for a kid. I just buy a pair of shoes for a kid. I just fed a kid for the next 6-7 years. I know
So how many
for a
children?
fact what's
So how many
happening.
children are we talking about here? Because I get the impression that the golf tournament, may put a lot of money on the table. Are we just talking about one kid, or is it the fact that it's for the kids' whole 5 years throughout their high school
This is whole
experience?
it's a whole year. Once they find him in the first place, he goes through the whole program. The whole program is from start to finish.
Right.
We don't let him go until he graduates.
What's the criteria? How do you pick this child specifically?
All by the guidance counselor. The guidance counselor for the school determines that, hey, this little kid right here is a good kid. Don't get in trouble. And just don't have the funds and the family structure for him to stay in school and finish a high school diploma. You just don't
That's-
have it. You can
no,
come
that's-
school Monday, and by Tuesday, that's it. Him not on a bus fare. Him not on a clothes. Him have to go home and wash the one pair of uniform. Him not on a shoes. My friend, borrow between him brothers and sisters. Opportunity. Him smart. He's not a troublemaker. Everybody give trouble here and there, but there's something about him that she sees, and once she sees that there's potential, we're grabbing onto it. And
So-
we're cultivating we're motivating him from that point on.
So that's a real, nice, a really nice thing to do for the youth, and the fact that you guys continue to do it, so there's continuity going on. What I'd like to ask is, so why does the football team seem to always have gears and and they always seem to be funded really well from the alumni. So something else is happening. The alumni is really big, yeah.
Yeah, the alumni is really big, and football is just like American football here. If you were to go to any high school here, it's always a football team that got the best of the best. Then it
Okay.
trickles down based on the sports
So
and
where's that money coming from?
it's the alumni programs. So you will
Okay.
have other football players that are alumni, and they'll gather their friends and so there's tons of little tributary organizations that's going on. But the main ones, which is the main chapter, the Calabar Association and the school itself, there's a breakdown between all the different entities and them. They just, for some reason, they all can't come together as one, where everybody can just say, all right, here is a common goal. Here's what we're going to do.
Right.
It just can never happen, and I don't know why. So that's why Sons of Her just break off and say, hey, we're going to do it with the guidance counselor, and of course it pisses the school off because the school wants everything to come through them. The local chapter wants everything to come through them, and so it's just like, hey, too bad. This is the way we're doing it, and it's working. Figure something else out on your end.
It's a shame that you have all different year groups, all different geographical location chapters, all this money, super cook, fish fry, dance, domino competition, all of these things going everywhere. But it's really unfortunate that the money doesn't roll up and there's like a project manager and someone to say, okay, we've collected all this money. It seems that everybody's doing their own little thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
you got
and
the
no
Sons
trust
of
factor.
Herb here. You might have something going on here, something
Yep.
going on
This,
here.
this, this. Yeah.
You know?
And ever so often, we try to come together like, Sons of Herb got with the Miami, was it Miami? I think the Florida chapter once, and decided to do a golf tournament there because it's so successful in Arizona. They
Yeah.
tried to do one down there, but when it was all said and done, it was all the guys in Arizona doing all the work, and the guys in Florida just kicked back, like, yo, you gotta work too.
Right.
So there's there's no incentive. The passion
So,
is not there.
so the Sons of Herb have sort of corporate sponsorship.
Yeah, so they have tons of sponsorship. Man, they got sponsorship on the wazoo. I don't even have one of the guys here, but one of their biggest sponsor, he handles a lot of he handles like the tractors and stuff for Walmarts and all that stuff.
Right.
And
But that's
he's
an
one of the
individual
biggest sponsors.
contributor, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
But what
But man,
about corporations, the Verizons, the T-Mobiles, those big people?
no, they don't have any other. Not to my knowledge. Not to my
Okay.
knowledge. So one of the things that I do is I'm just a member because, again, if you have something good, it don't need me to come in and because I told the guys a long time ago, you guys started this thing. This is y'all nest egg. This is y'all baby. I'd be more than happy to be a part of it and use my name and likeness to bring others or to help support the cause. I don't want to be. I'm not one to be. I want to be an executive and involved and all. No, you guys do your thing. So the ins and out, dailies and all that stuff, I have no clue. I just
Right.
whenever they call me and need me to do something, I'm there. I'm Jimmy on the spot because at the end of the day, I know what the end result is going to be. So when you have Neil Hart that runs the organization, him and the crew up in Arizona, man, that's like I tell you, it's a well-oiled organization, and coming from corporate America, he runs Chase Banks nationwide and all that stuff. So he have
That's
the
nice.
foundation, he know what it takes, and some people like it, a lot of people don't. But as long as you stay steadfast on the course and keep doing what he's doing, I'm always be behind Sons of Herb.
Do you pay dues?
Yeah, man. Actually, I my, I
So everybody
purposely
pays dues, yeah? All the Sons of... Okay.
but it's not even much money to tell the truth. Everybody pays a little bit of money. It's like $100 a quarter or something like that.
Okay,
It's
$400
yeah,
a year. That's pretty cool.
man, that ain't nothing.
Yeah.
I purposely don't even pay my dues till the middle of the year and pay 5 times the amount, only because it rather than give Uncle Sam my taxes. Sorry, Uncle Sam. I'd rather give it to them.
Right.
That's again, I just want another kid to have that opportunity, just like I did.
So it's a nice little
And
tax write-off as well.
well, they are a taxable entity.
Okay.
And yeah, you know what? As a company owner, yeah, I can write it off, but it's
Same,
not.
same, same.
That's not my. That I don't use that
No,
as a
I
tax.
know that. I know that. You do it
Yeah,
because Herb look after you. No. I understand. I'm just making
it's it's
sure that other
it's
people
just
that see it
yeah,
know as well. You know what I mean?
and
Yeah.
that's it. And so right now, being next year, this year is an Olympic year, and everybody's gearing up for the Olympics and stuff. But next year, we're actually coming together with a group called Wagga Hunt a Foundation, which is a combination of Calabar, Casey, the two giants in Jamaica. So Wagga Hunt has always been a
When you say
foundation.
Wagga Hunt, WAGA Wagga Hunt.
WAGGA Hunt
Okay.
Foundation.
Okay.
So I think Wagga was as a KC old boy. He ended up being one of the. He went to Calabar, was a soccer coach. Ended up being one of the winningest soccer coaches ever that passed through Calabar as a KC man. And so he bridged that gap because you have that big rival, but yet still he's there coaching. But anyway, he passed away. His brother created this foundation in his name, and so with a combination of Calabar and KC, they do all these big events throughout the city, throughout the United States. They're out of DC, but they do a lot of big events, a lot of big sponsorships, and they take that money, same thing, and split it between the two schools. So half the money go to KC, half the money go to Calabar, and same thing. They do different groups, different things. So next year we are planning a joint venture of the Wagga Group along with Sons of Herb to do a first ever golf tournament in Jamaica down there at what's that? Caymanas Park.
Okay.
So that's
And
gonna
the
that's a big
proceeds will be split
undertaking.
between the two schools. The proceeds split between the
Proceeds
two
will be
schools.
split. So the thing is, the proceeds will go to Wagga Hunt. They will do whatever they decide to do with it. We will continue to support the guidance counselor and the dreams of the youngster. Um, and again, that's just the Sons of Herb channel to help back and give back. Wagga Hunt has tons of different ways and means. But next year is the centennial celebration of Kingston College. So they're tying this in kind of with their centennial stuff. So
Okay.
again, this is the ability to take our guards down and the big fight and argument and two giants coming together under one cause, to give back.
And when you use the word giants, us in the country, we're thinking giants, but I'm gonna let you have it as you're a Kingstonian. I'm gonna let you have it.
And rightfully so. You should think that you're a giant. There's no problem with thinking that your little tiny school could be anywhere near Calabar or even KC. But
Whoa,
it's
whoa,
always
whoa, whoa,
it's
whoa!
always good for you to
I didn't say I went to a tiny school. I didn't say I went to a tiny school.
it,
But
it,
it's about Calabar today.
it is always it's no there's no problem in hoping. There's no problem in hoping, my son.
All right,
But
all
but
right.
when you talk about schools, real schools in Jamaica, Calabar tops the list. KC follows by, and then whoever wants to trickle on after follows.
Manning's High School's number one. Anyway, I was told it's called Manning's School, but anyway.
Man in
So where
school.
did you get the name Jabba from?
So first form, everybody comes to school. Everybody trying to learn everybody's names. Nobody has a rightful name. Everybody goes by nickname in Jamaica. So my best friend Monteith at the time, he only stayed there for like 6 months and then migrated. But we used to like watching that cartoon Jabba Jaws, the little shark.
Okay.
And so
All
we
right.
had a we had a pool at Calabar at the time, and we used to take PE and I was the only one with the lungs that could swim both lengths of the pool. And
Sorry,
so,
Calabar had a pool.
yes, sir, we still have it.
Okay.
It's just empty right now.
Okay,
It
okay.
is still there. Thank you very much. So
Well,
after doing a lap, I came up and he's just like, "Man, I'm gonna start calling you Jabba, like Jabba Jaws." And I was like,
yeah.
"Dude, don't even try it. That will never stick." So in Jamaica, when someone gives you a nickname, don't ever say the word. Don't ever follow by saying that will never stick, because then everybody just started calling me Jabba
Don't
from that.
fight it. Don't fight
Don't
it.
fight.
Yes,
That's
yes,
just I
yes.
should have just shut my mouth. But from that day forward, Jabba was born.
Okay. Hey, hey, Richard. I want to thank you for taking the time and talking to me. Please, in the comments, put down links to Wagga, whatever money collection vehicles that you have for Calabar. Please, take the time to put that down.
Definitely.
And people, please like, comment, and subscribe if you like this kind of content. And once again, Richard, I really thank you for taking the time. I love the early years, part 1. And for part 2, I love the Olympic call up and the discussion on the Calabar alumni. I really thank you very much for blessing this forum.
Oh man, it was fun. Thank you.
All right, thank you, boss.